All right, so I think the stream thinking about things ready to go though. So hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 81. Now, whew, all right, so this is basically what I would dub episode two of the season of summer gaming for the year of 2024. And because last episode we were basically just giving our thoughts on the state of play. Now we basically have almost every presentation that has aired except for the Nintendo Direct. So we'll be going through and talking about Summer Game Fest, how that kind of went. We'll talk about the Xbox show, and I don't have a dedicated moment for the Ubisoft thing, but there was a couple of things I actually liked up in there, and then some tidbits I kind of want to say. So I'll shove that somewhere in between the two different shows and whatnot, though. And then a couple other things, and then also since we know that there's a Nintendo Direct looming in the air, we'll go ahead and give our predictions, though. But like always, I never do this alone. I got my good buddy over here, Steven. How's it going, man? All righty. So yeah. How's your week been, Steven? How's your week been? All right, all right. I know you might get on my high horse though, but I had not made any progress with Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door since I think the last episode. I just need to sit. Yeah, as long as no, I feel like with Paper Mario games, it's not hard for me to forget. Yeah, and I know I'm on that train, so I was like, okay, I know it's about to fight whatever those little blobby little things though, but no, that was the update on that. Um, okay, okay. Yeah, because I imagine the show's gonna be pretty packed, so I was like, let me just go ahead and say what I was playing. And no, it's been mostly Splatoon, at least for me though, personally though. But what about you? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Dang. Oh yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you happen to be one, happy Father's Day. We get our one day out of the year, just like how the women get their one day out of the year, though. So yeah, so honestly, some good stuff there, though. I play some games with my dad though too. Not any video games, but we did a round of Monopoly, and you never can finish a whole game of Monopoly, so we set the timers on, and somehow my mom still managed to win that, and I was like, ah, shoot, all right, well, let me roll out of here because, oh shoot, no, yeah, it was fun for the most part though. And what up, Inaba? Nice to see you up in here as well in the chat. But yeah, a lot of good stuff has happened today. A lot of good stuff though. But we might as well go ahead and jump up in these gaming topics though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment first. All right, Steven. So, on the Twitter side of things, some weird, crazy stuff has been going down over there. And I don't know about you, but I hate the fact now likes are privated over there on Twitter. At first, I was wondering, I was like, what the heck am I going to stick up in this segment, though? But the fact that the likes are privated now, it kind of gets on my nerves a little bit, though, because now it's like if you really want to share something, you got to hit the repost button that's technically the retweet button. And I was like, dang, even so much so, it bothers so many people, at least within my gaming spheres and stuff. The old Meverse, like, yeah button? Like, people are bringing that mess back from Meverse, and then instead of hitting likes, which used to be public, they'll just comment and leave that button, and people are going through it and customizing different stuff. I was like, dang, I hope that really catches on within the Nintendo community. That's actually kind of funny. uh, yeah, I mean, Yeah, I wish people kind of stick to their backbone just a little bit more because we really need to stick it to Elon Musk over here. Like, I don't like any of these changes he's doing over here. This is where I get all my news and stuff from now, and you're making it just a little bit harder now. Shoot, I might have to start making like lists of the people that I normally get my information from. Like, it's getting a little ridiculous now. Can't get nothing recommended to me now. Though I will say some of those private likes has been kind of nice though, because I do like some spicy stuff here and there though, so I don't have to worry about that no more though. But outside of that, I still see it as mostly a negative thing. Hmm. I've seen some good ones from Splatoon as well, like ones with like Fry Shiver. Not even like old, outdated stuff you would have saw back on Miiverse back in the day, but like actually adding some modern Nintendo characters now. Hmm. I got a few saved up on my phone though. I might start using it a little bit more so though, just to kind of stick it though. Actually, I need someone to make a custom one with my actual logo up in there, something with a Charizard up in there. See, it'll be a telltale sign when we get that Nintendo Direct confirmation on Twitter, and once they say that, then you start rolling through the Twitter chats. If we get enough people to put that up in the comments there, people will be like, "Wait, what is this?" And I think it'll catch on a little bit more. We just need a little bit of a spark, and I think that could do it. Yeah. I feel like he must have got caught liking something he shouldn't have publicly, and people look, and I think he's like, "Nah, we got to quit this." Hmm. You know what? That is a good point. It should have been an option. Just like how it's an option for you to do like the voice chats and stuff via Twitter DMs, like that's a thing, but you can toggle that on and off. Like I don't know why it wasn't like a toggleable option. Hmm. Goodness. Yeah. So mhm. Oh goodness. Yeah. 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 Right. I don't know. There's a lot of things. If I was running this ship, I'll run it totally different though. But it is what it is, and we can't really do too much about it because of the fact of we're just a small little minority of people. Even though the minority is still large at hand, we ain't the one making the business decisions. We ain't the ones paying, or at least I ain't paying that man nothing. No, I'm still using the site for free though. But I don't know. I guess next episode or two, we might get another change and we'll be talking about that. Oh no, that yeah, that you lose half of the people there. Me, I had to make a decision on it because I mean, a lot of my stuff. Because I mean, that's where I get a lot of my information, like the whole podcast stuff, like all those topics and stuff come from Twitter itself, and then along with other stuff I might do for just my videos, just on the channel that aren't my podcast episodes. So it'll be a tough bullet to bite. I might bite it and test out the waters and stuff, but if enough people leave then you ain't getting your sources like that the same. So you got to go where the people are at. So I don't know. It'll be a dicey situation, but I would hate to see that though. Ugh, it'd be a bad future right there. Oh heck no, no. Facebook is like I only use Facebook book for personal people. I mean, not personal people. Pers For my personal usage. Like it's people I actually know, people I grew up with, high school, college, friends and family, that. But I ain't getting a lot of Nintendo news from there. It's kind of tougher. I have to make a whole nother account, I guess, if I wanted to do that. But it's not easily shareable stuff on Facebook versus Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to basically do it in terms of that one pop culture segment. And I got one more thing that I wanted to talk about here before we talk about the gaming news. And this is kind of pseudo pop culture, pseudo kind of gaming news anyway, though. But yes, originally there was some compatibility with Discord and PlayStation. Like if you wanted to wear a headset and play your PS5 or by extension PS4 consoles, you were able to start up on your phone and say yes, I wanted to join a Discord call and sync it up with your console though. But now there's a new update rolling out within the next few weeks. I think it's going through testing and stuff within Asian countries first and should be rolling out globally worldwide within the upcoming few weeks though, to where now it's like there's gonna be an option for you to actually hit it in the home hub of your actual console and join whatever Discord you happen to be have it synced up to. So you know what? I welcome that. I wish we had something like that for the Nintendo Switch. But hey, at least PlayStation's getting up to that point because I think Xbox already had this thing. Oh yeah, because yeah, that is true. Yeah, I messed around with that stuff with like Mario and Sonic U before. It's weird, but yeah, most people probably use Discord. Every now and then you'll use party chats if you don't happen to know the person yet, but maybe use the party chat to get them over to the Discord where you officially talk. So yeah. Yeah, at least for me, I mean, most of my stuff I play on the Switch, and it's like very few games I would ever probably play online with people, friends, because it doesn't help when PlayStation's driving up the price of their PlayStation Plus subscription, and even then, the people that we know that have it, it's like very few and select, and a lot of people are saying we're just gonna go ahead and cancel this and just be done with this. I'm like, dang, yeah. Hmm. So yeah, so it's cool at least for those that. Well, wait, did I lose it? Okay, I might have lost him here for a second. Hold up here. All right, wait, can you hear me now? Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know why Discord already. See now, Discord heard us talking, and then it's gonna throw a little monkey wrench up in here. Oh goodness. Yeah, but yeah, so it's really cool for at least PlayStation users out there. If you happen to have Discord, you use your PS4 or PS5 a lot, then hey, you can go ahead and officially go ahead and use that app and have it very streamlined, very simple, very easy, nice little task right there though. But I think that's basically all we have to say, at least on this one. Was there anything else you want to mention, Steven? Okay. All right. All right. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into the what's in the gaming news. Alrighty, so there was a couple of games that I had to mention here before we get really into the deeper things. Whenever oh, let me see here. There's a few things I had to mention at least before we get into the deeper things that was actually included within the Xbox showcase as well as the ooh, yeah, the Summer Game Fest. Those 2 things. So, this is one of the announcements that I thought was gonna be showcased off in the Xbox showcase, though. However, it necessarily wasn't there, and I was like, "What the freak?" But yes, I'm referring to Visions of Mana because I've been looking forward to this game. They said this game was coming out in the middle of summer, and I was like, "I don't know what summer month this happened to be," and, they were holding out on this information for the longest time ever, and then they finally give it to us and they say, "Hey, it's basically coming out late August." And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness, though." But Steven, like all things that they like to do, they managed to give me a limited edition of this game, though. But go ahead and guess the cost of this limited edition. No, go ahead and guess the cost of this limited edition. No, okay, we ain't talking about Final Fantasy. It's cheaper than that, thank goodness. No, 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 that's a special exception, and I don't talk about it that much, all right? Fire Emblem is a totally different side, all right? But no, they price this thing at 300. They price it at 300. No, oh, no, 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 I'm sorry, not 300. You got 300 running in my head. My bad. 200. 200. There's no way I would have bought this for 300. That's a switch. No, yeah. So, ugh, man, but they got my money, Steven. Oh, you know what? Oh,
Cool.
shoot, Steven. You know what? I had you muted this whole entire gosh dang time. Oh, thanks to somebody in the chat that pointed that mess out. Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh
People gonna
god.
think I was
Like the whole
talking to
thing?
be crazy up until just now. Like now they're hearing you. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Y
thank you so much in the chat for pointing that out. Oh my goodness gracious.
Wait, the whole thing, you haven't been able to hear me.
The whole thing up until now, which has
Alright,
only been
well,
luckily like 10 to 15
alright,
minutes.
I'll just summarize real quick everything that I had pointed
Alright,
out.
so it had the little rewind little
Yes,
thing.
yes, yeah, lightning round. Father's Day was cool. My dad raged at Mario Kart when we played it. Uh, Twitter privating likes is stupid. All of the yeah things I've been seeing on Twitter are really funny. Um, PlayStation Discord integration is something that should have been there from the start, but I think it's cool that they're finally doing it. Nintendo needs to hop on that. I don't know much about Visions of Mana, but it's pretty cool. Like it looks neat, and I know fans of it are excited. There you go.
Alrighty, man.
That
I'm so
that
sorry about
fucked.
that. I had that mess muted from the last time when I shut down the stream from the last episode, and I'm usually pretty good about unmuting it. And this is one time gosh dang it, I just didn't. Ugh. Alright. Where was I at? Okay, no. So we were going back and forth, and I was mentioning how like guess the cost of this, and you guessed $300 for this system, or that system, this limited edition, and no, it was $200, and I was like, okay. But now they got my money, Steven. I already bought it. I hate how the Square Enix store, for some oddball reason, it charges you the money flat out before it even ships, even though the thing's going to ship late August. They already got my money. I'm like, well, fine. I guess I don't have to worry about paying for nothing in the month of August, though. But
Yeah, I
that
like pre-ordering games. I've been doing a lot more recently. I've been getting more games physical, anyways.
No, that I always like to get my games physical unless obviously I'm playing on PC. Then obviously, that's a whole nother thing though. But if I can, I always get my stuff physical, especially in the Nintendo first party games. I always like getting those physical though. And in terms of limited editions like this one, I only get it for series that I have a well-known history for it, like Legend of Zelda and Fire Emblem. If they announce any limited edition for those, I usually 9 times out of 10 gonna get them, or mostly anything else first party Nintendo wise if it looks cool enough. And then outside of that, with the third parties like this, I've been really trying to get myself into the Mana series. I love Trials of Mana. So I was like, hey, when they said we're finally getting another mainline game for the Mana series, and I think it's been like almost upward of 15 years or so since we had the last mainline Mana game, I was like, yes, it's long overdue. And I was like, ooh, they're giving us musical soundtracks of, oh, I like some Mana music. All right, I'm sold. Even though weirdly enough, this thing comes with like a plush. And I was like, wait, I don't think I ever bought a limited edition that comes with a plush. Usually it's like a figurine, or it's like, oh, what's the other like a figurine like Spider-Man 2, like 19 inches of Venom, like that old joke. Like
Hell yeah.
yeah, so it's like it's usually a figurine like that. I got a figurine like with Summer 3 Reload limited edition and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink that I bought earlier this year in the month of February. So I'm used to stuff like that. Or it's normally like some kind of other knickknack that's like physically hard or whatever though, but it's not nothing like squishy like a plush. So this is a first. So I don't know. We'll see how big that thing is. I don't think it's gonna be like 19
Yeah.
inches or nothing like that, but
Yeah.
we'll see whenever that comes in. Whenever it does come in, like any unboxing I do nowadays, I'll do a video on it.
I would comment on buying collector's editions, but I've bought Lego sets that were $300 in the past. I have no room to talk.
Did you
At
get
least
that
with me,
NES one?
yes, I did.
Oh,
I also bought the question mark block. I bought the Bowser one, and I'm probably gonna buy the Deku Tree.
hmm. Let me know if you get that Deku Tree one. I want to see. I want to see that
Fact
one.
it fact it
Do you
comes
even
with Breath
keep
of the
those? Do you
Wild
even
mini.
keep those things still up, or do you
Yeah,
break them down when you're done?
I have them. I gotta be careful. Like I don't have enough space for Legos, and once I'm in, because I might be moving soon. Once I'm in a house that I know I'm gonna stay in, I'm gonna get a nice little display made,
Oh, okay. Well, that's the way to go.
and I'm gonna buy a lot less of them too.
Yeah. All right. So I think outside of that, that's all I want to mention on Visions of Mana. I'm just glad this game comes out late August. So I'm like, hey, when that game comes out, I'll say my whole tidbit up on it on the podcast if I don't make an individual video for it though. But I'm really looking forward to this game though, and it's actually going to get me to fire up my PlayStation PS5 again. I'll just say that though. So yeah, that's about it on that. But now we're gonna go ahead and jump over into all of the presentations though. Now we had some minor presentations like Yacht Club Games and I would say Ubisoft Forward. So we'll talk about those two first before we get into Summer Game Fest and the Xbox stuff. But Steven, you're the main component that wanted to talk about the Yacht Club games though. So go ahead and have at it, man.
So for Yacht Club Games thing, they did a couple different updates on Shovel Knight Dig and Pocket Dungeon and like the side games. But the two main things were their like Link's Awakening style game, Mina the Hollower. It's been like expanding as development went on, and that game's still coming soon. And that game looks really cool. It's got like the style of Link's Awakening, but like it looks beautiful in its own right. I think that's gonna be like their next Shovel Knight. This is like their next main game they're working on. Then after that, they announced Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX, which is a enhanced version of the original Shovel of Hope campaign. And this is going to have 20 playable characters, which is a lot. You have 20 playable characters. You have cheat codes built into the game. You're gonna have stereoscopic 3D returning from the fucking 3DS one. It's basically Shovel Knight Ultimate. They even on Twitter they kind of teased that the collab characters might be coming back. Someone asked about it and then they just replied a winky face. Which, if you don't know, in the PlayStation version of Shovel Knight you can fight Kratos, and in the Xbox version you can fight the Battletoads.
No, I didn't know about
So
that one though.
it's it's really cool. So there's a possibility they could re-add that stuff into this PC version. I think it's gonna be the ultimate like version of this game. I love it. I love they're doing this. Also, local and online multiplayer built in.
Now that's something that
Th-
you don't see within like I would say like a ton of indie games though, but it's nice
Yeah.
to see them go all out at least with
Well,
this one.
yeah, Shovel Knight's one of the biggest indies. At this point,
Yeah.
I feel like it's deserved. Yeah. I'm happy they're doing it, honestly. I love Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's like one of my favorite 2D platformers. It's just so polished and music's great. Everything about it's great. So I'm happy about this. And then besides that, they ended the showcase with a not so subtle confirmation that they're making a 3D Shovel Knight game. It will be the next mainline Shovel Knight game because they said that Shovel Knight will be entering a whole new dimension of gaming. Which, like, come on, it's gonna be a 3D game.
Now that's interesting, at least on that one though, because I'm not necessarily the biggest Shovel Knight fan though, but I will have to keep my eye out at least if they are gonna actually make an attempt to do a 3D Shovel Knight game. Maybe that's the one that will finally get me to actually stick to the series. I ain't
Yeah,
making any promises
but
though, but
thing,
it seems
yeah,
cool.
the thing I love about Shovel Knight is that it's the by far the only video game series that has actually, in my opinion, successfully recaptured like the NES era of gaming. Like it feels like it could have been made back in the day, whether on like SNES or something. It sticks to those design philosophies very well. It's a nice fusion of like Mega Man and Castlevania and other games like that. I love it. But yeah, if they're doing a 3D Shovel Knight, I can only think of what games they're gonna use as inspiration. Like obviously Mario 64 is probably gonna be an inspiration. I don't know if it's gonna still be a platformer or if it's gonna be a different like type of game. It's gonna be interesting. Maybe it will
I feel
be
like
like
they
an
might
open hub
go
world.
platformer. I feel like they may
It'd
do
be
that.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they do a Banjo Kazooie esque game because like Shovel Knight wasn't ukulele, but I don't know, they can do better. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm excited, and I think it'd be cool if they do a retro aesthetic for this too. I hope they do like a PS1, PS2 s aesthetic for this, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm excited for what Yacht Club Games has to offer, and hopefully we see it soon.
All right. Well, is that all you want to say about that one? Or at least with
Yeah,
that one
really.
show?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So we got some cool stuff from Yacht Club Games. We'll go ahead and swing it over to the one other minor show, and that is the Ubisoft Forward event. Now, I didn't necessarily sit down and watch this one like I did with Summer Game Fest and Xbox Showcase. I just kind of got the follow up on it though, like the cliff notes and all of that. However, at least the stuff that they showcase off in here, I think there's a few major things I wanted to mention up in here. And no, I'm not talking about the Star Wars thing. I'm not necessarily the biggest Star Wars fan though, but if you are, the game looks solid. And that was like one of the first major things they showcase off in this little showcase here though. So if you're a fan of the series, it doesn't look bad. It seems to be pretty good. So I don't think you have anything to worry about with that.
Zard, Zard, you there? Hello, hello.
All right. All right. Can you hear me now, Steven?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. I don't know what that was. Okay, this
Hey,
time I think it
Zard,
was. Wait, did I lose you again?
hello,
Doggone.
Zard.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay,
A little technical difficulties.
first
Yeah.
time it was OBS, I think acting up. Second time it was Discord. I don't know what the heck happened. Anyway, okay, where was I? Okay, I was talking about the Ubisoft Forward though. So there was two main things that I was really looking forward to, at least in terms of information. The first thing was the Prince of Persia related announcements, and then the other thing was the Assassin's Creed thing at the very tail end. And no, So I don't know about you, Steven, but did you hear about the new Assassin's Creed game that they announced? Not the ones that are like already have released like earlier, like January this year with like the first Prince of Persia game that we got in January though.
You
But
said Assassin's Creed. Do you mean to say started with Assassin's Creed? You mean Prince of Persia?
oh no no no, yeah, I meant Prince of Persia. I was just
I
saying,
know they're
yeah.
sorry.
Oh no,
I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say I know they're making a game called The Rogue Prince of Persia. It's like a Dead Cells esque game. Like it's a metro like a Metroidvania or like Roguevania, I guess. Rogue like Metroidvania.
Hmm. Yeah, because there
It
was, I think there was
it
that.
interests me.
I felt like that one was. Oh, good gracious! I got to go back and over here and look at all of this mess stuff. But
I'll be
I know there was
I
like
didn't even know
two. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say until you said this, I didn't know a Ubisoft Forward happened
Are you kidding
until
me,
you mentioned it here.
Steven? Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
yes, they had nothing I was interested in. I'm sorry. I just heard know about this game from like a different thing they did.
Oh my goodness, Steven. Oh my goodness.
It's like the one thing I didn't know. I'm sorry, but like shit, it's awful.
Oh goodness. Every year, Ubisoft is known for those like Just Dance little party things that they do up on the show. You already forgot about that?
Yes,
Wow. Okay. I'm dumbfounded, but okay. Wow. All right. But no, because one of the Prince of Persia announcements that he managed to do was they managed to get some free updates for the Lost Crown. So that's the game that came out in January I was talking about earlier though. So they got like some upcoming DLC. It's called like the Mask of Darkness, which you're basically they're adding like a little bit of extra story up in there though, but then they have like these divine trials, so it's like extra more challenging things on top of just the basic, mainline story that you're able to do. I still have not played this game. I want to play it, and I'm probably going to pick it up later, later around holiday-ish time because I was waiting for the game to come out on PC via Steam. It was available via the Ubisoft store, and I never liked that. And also Epic Games, but those aren't my prefer, places I want to buy
they
games. I
suck.
prefer I prefer Steam. Luckily, the Steam version was announced that it's coming out I think in August, I think, or somewhere around that fall time period though. So yeah, by the time I would actually pick up the game, it's gonna be on Steam. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness, though. I don't have to worry about Ubisoft's weird little launch or whatever though. But yeah, that was one of the things. I was like, okay, cool. I love to see some new updates and stuff, so I'll be able to play it whenever I get around to getting to play that game, though. However, they did manage to talk about the big major game, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Apparently, that thing has been in the works for so long. It's actually shifted development studios and actually went to like the main bread and butter one that Ubisoft has right now. However, they just threw the JPEG thing up, Steven. They pulled the Metroid Prime 4 and said it's coming out in 2026. And you had the people over there clapping in the crowd and stuff. I was like, why you got these people clapping over here, man? I'm like, bruh. I was like, y'all wait this long and you're gonna clap for another JPEG? I seen a lot of people say that online though too, and trying to call these people out that watch these shows though. I feel bad because at least when you're in a live audience like that, you're gonna have people that are gonna be like have a little bit of sympathy for what they actually just showed. But man, a lot of people online are just gonna be like, "That doesn't deserve our claps or attention," yada yada yada. Though, but how does that make you feel, Steven? Whenever it's been such a long time, and then all they do is just give you like a JPEG update.
It's annoying.
Mm,
But to be fair, they kind of did completely restart development from what they're saying.
yeah.
So they probably don't have anything good looking to show.
Yes. I feel like that was probably it. But I mean, if you're gonna do that, then I just say, you know what, just don't even give us an update at all. Or if you do, you can say something via words, but don't show a picture of basically nothing. It's just basically like, oh, it's a slap to the face. I don't know if it's more so like for investors or something like. I feel like that's probably what it really is at the end of the day, though. But I don't know. At least from the consumer side of things, it never kind of sits in your mouth quite well, though. But yeah. So yeah, they had a few other handful announcements, outside of like the major Star Wars and stuff. Like I'm just skimming through some of this stuff though. like NO 117. Obviously, they did manage to announce a Just Dance game, Steven, but it's not like regular. They actually have a Just Dance VR game. So I don't know if that's the first one that they ever attempted for VR though. But I was like, okay. And they had like Defiant and stuff. The Division 2. And I guess I had another update for some DLC for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Town looks cool, but it doesn't look like it's quite for me though. But then the major meat and potatoes was the stuff that they talked about at the end of the show, the Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this one right here, I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, Steven. Not at all by a long shot. I had played some of the original, like the first few Assassin's Creeds via my cousin who had an Xbox, I think 360 at the time. So I have played around and dabbled within the series though. However, this one right here doesn't look like anything that's like the copy pasted that you had from like any of the previous iterations, hence because you're like in the Japan era. So a lot of people, if you look at this gameplay, you're gonna compare it a lot to like Ghost of Tsushima, with PlayStation's game. And I'm looking at this, I was like, you know what? This does not look halfway bad. I actually kind of like what I'm seeing right here. Yes, I've seen a few people say it's, combat might look a little bit slow or stuff like that, or it doesn't look as polished though. But if you were to look at the stream that they were showcasing all of this footage on, it was like locked to some weird 480p. It wasn't even in full HD when you were looking at this thing though. So you gotta, you can't fully judge this thing on, based upon the footage that they showed. And obviously, this is still a working build, whatever they got right here, though. But they did say that the game is going to be releasing out in the month of November, though. So this is definitely one I'm going to keep an eye on. And I might actually get this around the holiday season. We will see. I know Ubisoft games usually tend to drop in price if you're willing to wait, though. But I don't know. It just kind of depends on what Nintendo announces and whether or not I either put the game on hold or if it's a little bit of a lighter year and I might be able to get it kind of closer to launch though. But was there anything you wanted to say on that? I know you saw some of that footage. I didn't know if you had anything to say about it though.
I think it looks kind of boring.
I'm dang, Steven, you did all that as you saw it.
Uh huh.
Oh man, I don't know. I like some games with some good amount of stealth up in there though, and I don't play a bunch of games that have it. So when I do see it, it's kind of cool. And I mean, they really did pull some strong, inspiration from Ghost of Tsushima because you're able to do things like straightforward with the dude, and just like attack out in broad daylight, or you play as the woman and you're kind of sneaking around in the shadows and like either assassinating people that way or completing your missions that way. So you have like two major different play styles in this game, so it's not just like one. So I do like the
Yeah, I
little bit
think
of
it's
diversity.
cool. I think it's cool that there are two different like main playable characters. I think everything else about it's mostly just because I don't like Assassin's Creed is just boring to me. I've never
Mhm.
been that much of a fan of Assassin's Creed. I played like 10 minutes of one of them, and I was just like, this is not my type of game.
Yeah, which I'll have a pretty good judge on this game if and whenever I manage to pick this game up because I love games that are like inspired within Japan, have Japanese culture and stuff like that. Though there's not like a lot of games I managed to able to have in my collection like that though. But I do like it whenever at least you make an attempt on it, and as long as it can turn out to be good. So as long as it's not the traditional weird Ubisoft formula is associated within this though, I feel like I should like feel like I should be able to like this game just like as an average game. It might not be like the greatest game I ever gonna play. And I doubt it's gonna be that. But I don't think it's gonna be bottom of the barrel like, oh man, I regret purchasing this. I'll still keep an eye out on the reviews and stuff whenever it does come out. I think that'll be a pretty good indicator though. But I'm holding faith because I need to play another good Ubisoft. I can't even remember, Steven, what was the last good Ubisoft game I played. Technically, the Saint or the Prince of Persia game that came out
Have
in
you
January. I know that one's technically good, but before that one, I don't know what was the last good one I might have potentially could have played.
um did you play Mario plus Rabbids?
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, yeah. I guess that would technically be the last one, and that was way back in. Oh gosh, that game came out in 2017, 2018.
2017, it was a Switch launch year lineup.
Okay, no, but I didn't manage to play until, like, a year after that, around 2018 or so, but yeah, and
I mostly meant the sequel because I've played it.
oh,
I think it's
shoot.
great, but
The sequel, I still have it. It's sealed, and I have not popped the seal up on that. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it.
It's
I
a good game. Get to it whenever you feel like playing a new RPG. It's a longer one.
Yeah. I think it's just because the fact it's an RPG, and I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't gonna be a get through real fast kind of thing. I gotta block out some time for it. But yeah,
It also has Rayman in it, and Rayman, by the way, Rayman Legends. I want a new Rayman game, motherfuckers. Give it to me.
we predicted that in the last episode. We didn't get it in this show, so I'm
I
sorry.
know.
Mm.
I'm sad.
Well, someday they'll do it. It might be when we're dead and gone, but someday, maybe. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, that's basically all I had to talk about, at least within the Ubisoft Forward presentation right here, though. So, a good amount, a handful of stuff, though. I'm just personally looking forward to the Prince of Persia projects and the new Assassin's Creed, but that's all I'm really looking forward to. All right. So, with those two smaller presentations out of the way, now we can make way for the major ones, that being a Summer Game Fest. We'll talk about that one first, Xbox next, though. This one right here, man, Steven, both me and you, along with like a couple other friends, were watching this live on Discord. And oh shoot, there was only a few things I was looking forward to them announcing in this show. We got one of them being the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero release that's coming out in October. And I think outside of that, oh gosh, I gotta pull up my Discord notes over here though. There wasn't too much in the show I was really looking forward to. I think there's only like 5 things I walked
Yeah.
away from this thing from, and there was just a bunch of fluff up in this mess.
I can start this one. This was the most mid-ass show I've ever watched, and Jeff Keighley does not understand what makes directs appealing. You have to have stuff that appeals to everybody. You need to have pacing that exists. It feels so corporate. It feels like it feels like the Game Awards, which is not a good thing.
Yeah,
I don't know, like they have fucking 5-minute ads for mobile games that people don't care about. This and that. You have fucking random, just regular ads sprinkled in there. How much money was it to get 30 seconds of your ad
you
played?
know what? I have that saved
Hundreds of
somewhere.
thousands.
Yeah, I have it somewhere saved up here in my Twitter notes here. It's dumb how it's okay, here it is. So a running trailer during the Summer Game Fest main show this year cost $250,000 for 1 minute. However, if you add a half a minute more on top of it, it's $350,000. 2 minutes is 450. So basically, every half minute you add is an extra $100,000. It's a little
Yeah,
ridiculous.
on one hand, like yeah, I understand they had a lot of indies. Like having a decent amount of indies is pretty cool, but at the same time, like this is what they this is what they this is the main showcase, this is the main Summer Games Fest showcase. All the other people already had their like presentations announced and separately showing, but like just the games they got are weird, man. Like I'll start with this one, Lego Horizon Zero Dawn, or like yeah, Lego Horizon Adventures or something.
Yeah, that was the one that they started off the
Skylanders after
show with,
being
and I was like, I wasn't expecting that one, Steven. The fact that we got a crossover with a PlayStation IP, we knew something PlayStation was also gonna show up here that didn't make their own state of play. The fact this sucker's also coming out on the Nintendo Switch as well, like, that's a whole nother topic for another day, though. But I was like, "Dang, we
like
can play that
I'm a
new Horizon game on the Switch."
Yeah, I'm a fan of Lego, obviously. I like Lego a lot, but even this, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's interesting, I guess. It looks fun, but like such a weird game to start with. You'd think they'd start with like metaphor, which is like the next thing on my list.
Hey, our
Which
our lists are
metaphor
pretty similar. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
good.
Metaphor looks cool. I'm not, I haven't played any of the Persona games. I'm not a big Shimigami Tensei guy, but I can at least acknowledge how cool it looks.
I'll
Like
get you on that Persona one day,
it
man.
looks unique. I know, I have it. Like fucking PS Plus gave me Persona 5. Like I have Persona 5 original. I
Mm,
could play it. I know it's a long ass game and I don't have time yet to get to it.
yeah.
No,
But
but like it looks cool. It looks very unique. Like it looks like something I haven't really seen before recently, which I guess this is like what they've been working on.
Yeah, it's kinda like to celebrate Atlas's is it their 30th or their 35th anniversary? It's
Probably
one in
35th. They've been doing games since SNES, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, so it's basically to celebrate its anniversary for, Atlas and all their games that they managed to work on. Catherine Full Body, the Persona stuff, your Shin Megami Tensei stuff, your Soul Hackers, the list goes on and on though. But yeah, they've been making a lot of games throughout the years though. So yeah, I like seeing another good look at this game though, but I'm basically at this point already sold on this game. I'm more than likely gonna get it. It's just the fact how I guess it ain't like anything brand new or anything super flashy. Like in terms of those kind of announcements, stuff that came from left field that we just didn't know about before this presentation, those are very few and far between. But one of the things that happened to fall in that category was the crossover between Street Fighter 6 and SNK, which that was pretty cool, not pretty solid, wasn't anything too flashy, we didn't get to see any gameplay from the 4 new SNK characters though, but, that was pretty cool. Got anything to say about that, Steven?
It looks cool. Like the street I'll admit this is one of the main things I thought was pretty cool that they announced 4 characters like that. Pretty sure one of them, well, it's 3 SNK characters, and then one of them is M. Bison, right?
Uh, well, I just know it was just 4 SNK characters in general.
I swore it was only 3.
In my notes,
Maybe
I
I'm wrong.
somehow have 4, I don't know.
I'm looking it up. It's like it's Street Fighter 6 Year 2. Okay, I have it. It's Terry, Elena, and Mai from Fatal Fury, and then M. Bison, which is a Street Fighter character returning.
Maybe I just had it marked as 4 new characters, but I guess maybe 3 of
Yeah.
them are okay, okay,
Yeah, but
that's what it is.
that's still really cool. But they don't have any like official like 2D art or 3D like anything yet. We don't have gameplay. But I think
Yeah.
that's really cool that they're adding them. And I don't know. I'm not a big Fatal Fury guy, but I think seeing these like old ass games cross over is always cool.
Yeah, no, I always
It,
like it, and I think they did that for a reason because of, another announcement that we got a little bit later on. But was there one more thing you're
yeah.
about to say, or no?
I was just gonna say that like I'd rather fighting games do this than doing like Mortal Kombat and like Tekken. They got some weird ass crossovers sometimes. Like there was a guy from The Walking Dead in
Ugh,
Tekken 7.
oh, that don't even sound right.
And then there was and then fucking Mortal Kombat has like Omni-Man from Invincible and Homelander from The Boys and like a bunch of weird ass characters they always do. And it definitely feels out of place, but like I guess that's part of the charm. Well, this feels like something more natural. I'm pretty sure Street Fighter has crossed over with SNK before, so that just feels like oh they're finally returning.
Hmm. No,
I think it's cool.
yeah, I thought it was cool too, and it was weird
And
how
just
they
obviously,
okay.
I was just gonna say obvious. Sorry. I was just gonna say obviously getting 4 characters all at once is a big deal no matter what.
Mhm. Yeah, 'cause it was interesting. I don't know why they didn't do this announcement along with the other one back to back because, a handful of announcements later, they did announce that there's a brand new Fatal Fury game coming out called City of Wolves. And I like the art style of it. It kind of gives you that fresh, funky vibe and stuff that even Street Fighter 6 had with its unique art style vibe and stuff. And I seen a little bit of footage because, with these Summer Game Fest presentations and stuff, it's not just the show itself. If you happen to be like media or whatever, or content creators and stuff like Kit and Krista, I seen some of their footage and stuff that they managed to do, and they got to go hands on with the game, with the new Fatal Fury game and stuff. And even from looking from that little bit of footage, I was like, oh, okay, this looks kind of cool and stuff. Yes, I'm not your biggest fighting fan or whatever, though, but I can appreciate whenever at least, SNK is going to make another attempt at trying to do another fighting game and stuff. Like it definitely looks a lot fresher and more unique than a lot of fighters out there, though. So I'll give him that, though. But was there anything you want to say on that one?
Looks cool. Like obviously, like I said, not a big Fatal Fury guy, but I like seeing these games, these old franchises still find new life.
Mm, okay. All right.
And like, I know that it's big, like SNK is still big for a lot of people. Like was it like it was really big in was it like Latin American countries, right?
I think, yeah,
Is what
near South
Sakurai was saying.
America, something like that. Whenever we had that Terry Bogard was getting introduced in the Smash, I think that was, yeah.
But yeah, that's cool.
Alrighty. And I think with those little couple of fighting announcements out of the way, there was like only two more announcements I really cared about. At least that looked real cool though. Or well, no, no, there's actually a few more. Never mind, take that back though. One of them was Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. As I said a little bit earlier, they did manage to confirm a release date. They gave us a trailer before Summer Game Fest, saying, "Hey, look towards more information during Summer Game Fest." So we finally got the stinking release date for this thing, October 11th, and I was like, "Yes, sign me up. I'll be there day one I'll be there day one, rolling into my Best Buy either in person or have this thing shipped in the mail to me." I've been waiting on this game, Steven, since I was 12 years old. Man, we're talking about almost a decade and a half ago. Like, yes, I been waiting on whatever came after Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I had the second game in the series on Wii, and then my cousin had the third one in the series. Oh shoot, I don't know if it was on his Wii or the Xbox 360 at the time or whatever though. And I was waiting on a four or the fourth one in the series to get dropped now, and it never did though. So I'm really looking forward to this. The stinking limited editions on this one's too expensive, Steven. Like the one for this one, there's like a statue like Broly and I think Goku, Ultra Instinct, and it's like
Yeah.
300 something bucks. And I was like, gosh dang it, I didn't even spend 300 bucks on the Spider-Man 2 thing. I was like, "Oh, I can't do this though. I love that. I got to get a figurine for something Dragon Ball in the future though, but this ain't it right here."
Yeah, at least for like Dragon Ball, it'd be like at least if I ever got something like that, it'd be like an articulated figure, so you could put it in cool action poses.
Yeah.
No, but like, listen, I'm not a big Dragon Ball guy, but I've watched. I'm currently at like the tournament of the original Dragon Ball. It's like in like the finals of the first tournament in the original Dragon Ball. So like maybe 20, almost 30 episodes in, and I like it. I definitely do like it. I'm still watching it for a reason. And this game kicks ass from what I'm looking at the footage right now.
Man,
Like
you
visually it kind of kicks ass, I must admit. And like it's very unique gameplay wise from what I'm seeing. And like the environments you fight in definitely feel like they play a part in the actual match, which is always nice to see.
Man, this is the arena fighter. Like this is the one that set it up for almost every other arena fighter game that we might have seen after it, but nothing compares to the originals. Within like the first one where they introduced it, the second game they made it a little bit better, and the third game it was about basically almost perfected at that point though. The only sad
Yeah,
thing
cuz
about this game is, at least within some of the updates we got, was the fact how back in the day you used to have split screen co-op, or not co-op, so to say, split screen multiplayer, should I say, like where you fight against each other. And that was really
yeah.
big because I used to play with my brother, and like there was like certain moves you do where you collide against the other person and you start moving that nunchuck like really fast in circles, and it's like how many times can you get it to click around would be like the person that wins the little bout or whatever though. So a lot of people have fond memories playing that with somebody else within their actual same living room space. They did manage to incorporate that within this one though. However, it wasn't an original priority, so you can only fight in the hyperbolic changer hyperbolic time chamber, where there's not really a lot of atmosphere kind of stuff going on, or like you busting through rocks and stuff like that. It was like a plain straight white floor. For those that
I could
know
see
Dragon
them
Ball will know
changing that.
exactly what it is, but I think it's just to simplify things and not make it too advanced, so that way you can still do a little bit of multiplayer right there.
I'm assuming it's performance or like is the gameplay the exact same? Like you all have the exact same moves?
I mean, yeah, you have all the same exact moves, yes. I think it's just more so like when you do certain attacks and stuff, you kind of destroy the environments and stuff.
Well, yeah, I think it's entirely a performance thing then,
Yeah, so
right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mostly performance though, because they had it set ideally. Because that's the thing though too, you can play this game with somebody else on a different console. So it's like, like Splatoon, if you think about it like that. It's like you're not gonna have two people on the same system. They're different systems. So it
Yeah.
does work like that if you want to do 1v1s that way. But on the
Like
same
LAN?
system, yeah, no, uh-uh. I mean, land technically would be 2 different systems. I don't know if that will even be a thing. I don't know. It depends on if they incorporate that. They
It
didn't
looks
say anything like that, but yeah.
this game looks cool though, definitely. I seen Fighter Z. I know Fighter Z looks visually very impressive. Like this looks straight like out of an anime almost. They
Yeah.
did really good at capturing the style. Um I know there's a ton of playable characters. I know there's like 24 Vegetas and Gokus or something.
Oh, shoot. I mean, yeah.
There's like
There's too many.
yeah, but at the same time I know they all probably have different moves, so
Oh,
it's
no, yeah, they
perfectly
all
fine.
do. It's, like,
Yeah.
different points of the anime history and stuff, so it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna have different techniques for certain
It looks
characters, so
cool.
yeah.
It looks very interesting, and I'm not even probably gonna buy it. I just must admit, like it looks fun. This looks just as fun watching it as it must be playing it, I think is the thing.
Yeah. And it'll be in that same regard, it's gonna be very similar to Fighter Z, though, because I mean, when you slap this arena fighter with an HD's coat of paint and stuff, yeah, it's gonna be really nice, especially since there's, like, unique story scenarios and stuff where it's, like, what if moments, where it's like, "Hey, normally the story play out like this, but if you decide this decision and you decide to select it instead of what normally happens, then you can see how the story will play out in a different manner." So even if you know the story inside and out, like me, you can get a kick out of the thrills of the what if scenarios though. So I'm actually looking forward to that as well though. But overall, nice to see Dragon Ball Sparking Zero finally get that release date. That was the major kicker, at least for me though. Now this
Yeah,
next one, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Fighter Z is like a more traditional fighting game though. This is like completely different. You see all these characters in different angles and stuff. I think that's what makes it really interesting to me.
Yeah, no, this one controls most, I would say most like the actual anime itself. You know, Fighter Z got close, but the arena fighters, that's like almost straight out the anime. Like that's the closest you're gonna get. But yeah, so good stuff within Dragon Ball Sparks and Zero. Don't have to wait too much longer though. We're almost there.
Probably the coolest thing that got like an official gameplay unveil. I'd have to probably.
Yeah.
I Yeah, the one of the I think the one of the other coolest things is coming up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because this one right here, oh man, this is the one that stole the show for me. Like everything we talked about previously was like stuff we already kind of knew about and stuff. Nothing like really new outside of some of the SNK stuff. But this one right here, the Killer Bean game. I was like, what the heck is this dude doing? I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, this coffee bean thing. I didn't even know it was coffee bean when I was watching this thing. No. I remember seeing him somewhere on the internet web something though, but I couldn't recall when I was watching this trailer though. You literally had this dude GTA and this mess up, like jumping out of the car slow mo, shooting people out, jumping out of jumping out of buildings, busting through the windows and shooting the other dude out through the window and stuff, having high speed chases on like water skis or whatever you call those things, though. Fighting like some mecha thing out in the middle of the ocean. I was like, oh shoot, whatever this game is, sign me up. Even though,
Th-
like, what they said it was like early access, Steven. I was like, man, this looks a lot better than
Yeah,
most games.
the game looks so funny. Like Killer, it's made by one guy, but like the mechanics in it just look so stupid that I love it. Like, yeah, it's basically like John Wick almost, like you're a extremely powerful individual that can basically do anything like John Wick. There's the part where he throws a grenade back midair. Like there's the other part where he jumps out a window and then shoots a guy in another window as he's slow-mo falling. And then there's all of the fights against giant mechs that they show in the trailer. This game looks fucking awesome. And I've like before this, I knew what Killer Bean was. I've seen the movie. I'm gonna get you to watch the movie, by the way, Zard.
Wait, hold on. I thought you said you did. Oh, I thought you said you didn't watch the movie.
No, I did. I said I did watch it.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's how I knew what it was. I was like, holy shit, it's Killer Bean.
Uh,
I knew they were making a game, but I didn't know like how far in development it was. It looks so cool. I love it.
No, yeah, I'll get around to watching that movie at some point though, because I mean, this game right here definitely piqued my curiosity to say the least. Though.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's like a stupid kind of funny. Yeah, stupid. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a stupid kind of funny. Like you need to go into that movie not expecting anything serious. It's great though.
Ooh. But yeah, so that was a really nice surprise. It definitely got me the perk up during the show, and I think out of everything we mentioned thus far, those were probably the main highlights, at least for the first hour of the show. Mind you, this was a stinking 2 hour long show. Lately, I think they could cut out. Shoot. With the announcements I cared about, they could have cut out at least like an hour and 15 minutes worth and shoved down the rest of it within like a 40-ish minute presentation. It'll be like one of the old E3 directs that we used to have from Nintendo back in the day. And I think that would have
Yeah,
been a solid show though. But no, this show definitely outstayed its welcome though. But there was only a handful of other announcements I
yeah.
cared about that was shown in the second half. One of them
And it was
being,
just so fucking boring. Besides
yeah.
the yeah, like everything in between.
Oh, what was it? Yeah, because the next thing was like the Sonic Shadow X Generations, and we got a release date for that finally, October 22nd. I don't know about you, Steven, though, but if you start looking at everything, like October's starting to become a busy month. Like we got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, now the
Yeah,
Sonic
man.
Shadow X Generations. Then you have the what was it? I just a Metaphor Refan to Zero, Metaphor Refan to Zero, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero are both on the same day. And then you got Sonic X Generations later in the month in October. So October's getting a little wild right now.
I think yeah, I definitely do also think that Nintendo's gonna have something in October. We will talk about
We'll
that.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll, we'll have something. I'm like, oh, it's gonna get too. It's gonna be too much, man. Too much though. But yeah, it's really cool seeing all those shadow levels and stuff. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm all
Ah,
here for it.
dude.
I'm all here for it.
We we got more in-depth gameplay afterwards because what they showed really doesn't give you much. It just shows it shows um I don't know the name of the level. It shows a returning level from Heroes. Oh, Rail Canyon. They're from Sonic Heroes. It's like the level that was a lot of rail grinding is returning, and also Kingdom Valley from Sonic '06 is going to be a level, which kind of opens the possibility as the stuff from Sonic '06 being featured in that game, like bosses. And it's very similar to like Bowser's Fury. It's going to be like that. I feel where it's going to be a much more condensed but really polished experience. And I'm extremely excited, honestly. We got more gameplay afterwards, and like that. I don't. Have you seen the gameplay
Oh no, yeah, I saw
for
what
the
was
first
it? I
level?
think yeah, I saw the first level. I want to say for like yeah, because there's like two different demo levels. I think they had for
Yeah,
the shadow ones and Ash, from Good Vibes Gaming. He showed both of those levels off at least within Good Vibes Gaming their YouTube channel and stuff. And from everything I saw up in it though, it looks really cool though. Like I'm loving all of the SA2 references that are up in there, as
yeah.
well as Shadow the Hedgehog. Like those are the two main things that I can actually build off of. I can't really build off of anything else or any other teases they might actually pull from Shadow's lore if it ain't from one of those two games in particular, though.
Well, from Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah,
Well, he's got a big part in Sonic '06, as I was saying. He's
yeah.
one of the
That's
main
the only
playable
that's the
characters.
game I hadn't
And
played. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, just the have you heard of Mephiles? He's a character from Sonic '06. He's like this weird ass, like dark version of Shadow, or at least he looks like that.
No, I don't think so.
He's one of the main antagonists of Sonic '06. You'd understand if you played it, but he's probably going to be a boss in this.
Mm,
And definitely Heroes also had some stuff. Like him like Heroes, he finds out like about that there are shadow androids, and that's what kind of starts his whole like identity crisis.
mm.
And then, after that, I don't know, they haven't really done much with Shadow in a while. There could be a level from Forces, but like probably not.
Yeah.
I mostly hope they just focus on SA2. I'm really glad that they're putting a lot of effort into this. Because Zard, this level, like, it's so much better than every single level from Forces combined. It's about like 4 to 5 minutes long, even when you're going through it fast. There's tons of variety. The level changes through like every section of the level is completely different, and it actually looks like there's tons of paths to get through the level.
Oh yeah, because that
That's
was
the
one of
main
my
thing. You
that
just need replayability.
yeah, that was the one thing I guess that was my major tidbit was they don't make Sonic games like how they used to. I obviously Frontiers
Yeah.
was really good though, but in terms like I guess
Yeah.
is that a weird term to say like a classic 3D style
Yes.
game for
No, no, I
uh,
agree. The adventure style.
yeah. I was about to
It's
say because
yeah.
there's a lot of good stages I like from the daytime levels from Unleash and levels I like from Sonic Adventure 2 that aren't necessarily kind of the same exact kind of feel that you get within stuff like even within Frontiers, which Frontiers had some good stuff, but it didn't feel like those kind of levels though. So it's nice to kind of go back to our roots just a little bit, at least within the shadow kind of content.
Yeah. This level is so insane. I'm watching it. It is visually breathtaking, and like the animations especially all look so good. I don't know. It genuinely does not feel like Sonic Team made this.
That's the thing that gets me. I was like, dang, they made this
Yeah.
sucker, and I was like, dang, if they're gonna do this, and if this one happens to be a home run knockout of the park in comparison to like Sonic Colors, which I heard that one wasn't too hot on, then I'm like,
It
hey,
just
if
yeah.
they're gonna pick another game to give this kind of treatment to, freaking do Unleash next, or one of the adventure games. If you do one of the adventure 1 or 2 games, or Unleash, then hey, I'm all there for it. Though I say Unleash,
Yeah.
and then go back and do SA2,
And they
spice it
all
up a little bit.
the other one they showed was like a boss battle against Lizard from SA2.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And oh my god, this game has the sauce, Zard. This it has it. All of it.
So, yeah, so overall, I feel pretty good at least where we're currently at within the Sonic X generation stuff. So that was definitely, I would say, a personal highlight that managed to come out of at least a
Yep.
Summer Game Fest thing, though. That along with, some of the other ones I mentioned earlier, though. But,
It literally woke me up. So yeah.
yeah. All right, and there's only a few more announcements I even cared about to even write down notes on, and I'm sorry if you didn't make my list in terms of my podcast and what me and Steven talking about and know, but shoot, it wasn't too hot though. It wasn't too hot. One of the things they managed to showcase off another update trailer for Honkai Star Rail, which kind of showed off a trailer that we for a character that we thought we weren't going to get information from, but we managed to get it in this one right here. I was like, what the heck? And yes, it's referring to March 7th. She's gonna be like another version of that character you're able to actually go through. Either you'll get it for free or you'll also be able to and slash or do a summon for her as well though. So it's cool right there. It's just a little more of a nod. It's like nothing that was really new. But if you're a diehard fan or a fan of the series like me, you took some appreciation out of it, even though it wasn't really too much. We got most of our information earlier in the day before Summer Game Fest even happened though, but I figure I'll just make a nod to it. After that, you managed to get Monster Hunter Wilds. Between this and the next game was basically what they closed out on. I'm surprised they didn't close out on Monster Hunter Wilds, Steven. But the game still looks cool. There's some
Yeah,
nice,
we
interesting things up in it, but it's not coming out until next year.
yeah, we just don't know anything yet. It looks okay. Like I liked Rise a lot, but they really haven't showed enough to make me interested in this one yet.
Hmm. Yeah, and you can still tell. I mean, it's still in early development and stuff. And like, what now? We got like a few good looks at it now. They showed it off at the state of play, then they turned around and showed it off here, within the Summer Game Fest thing, though. And I feel like they might have showed it off somewhere else, though. But we got an idea of what it is. Obviously, we aren't going to get real deep into the nitty gritty of exactly what's all there offered for our resident, Monster Hunter fans, though. However, for everybody else out there, if you're just a diehard fan of the series, you're gonna get a lot of hmm, I'll say you're gonna probably get a lot of hype out of this, especially if you like Monster Hunter World. It seems it's gonna be more so inspired after that formula versus Monster Hunter Rise, though. So this is something for fans of the series to really look forward to. It's just you're not gonna be able to see the fruits of the labor until like next year though. So it's just kind of like, eh. we'll throw you a little bit of piece of beef jerky here, but don't expect too much until the start of next year, though. But it's cool. But then after that, since they didn't end the show off with that, I was like, what are they going to end it off with? They ended it off with Phantom Blade Zero. And I was like, oh, shoot. This was the game, mind you, Steven, that they managed to showcase off in a previous state of play. And I was like, "What the heck is this game?" It's basically like a samurai-ish game, and you're going 90 to nothing with that blade in terms of how fast you're moving and stuff. I was like, "Oh, this is like one of the personal highlights I like within a past state of play that looked real cool." But no release date. I was like, "Come on, man!" I was like, "Man, if you're gonna end the show off like this and not even give us a release window, even a year," I'm like, "Come on." I say it's a good attempt to close out the show, but I'm like, "Ooh." But was there anything you wanted to say on that one?
Who's making Phantom Blade? Is this like a PlayStation developed game?
No, it's not like a first party IP, no, it's purely third party.
Yeah, because I'm trying to find out like stuff about it. Okay, it's made by S Game. Um, it looks cool. Like I don't know. It like there's not much I could say about it besides that. But yeah, they've
Yeah,
mostly only worked on the Phantom Blade series. Um, yeah, I've never played any of these games.
visually, appealing and stuff like that, though, even though he hasn't necessarily played any of the games, though, but he's liking what he's seeing so far, though.
Hello,
Okay, there we go. Alright,
hello.
now you're back. Discord,
Yeah, I don't know.
killing you. They killing you.
Yeah, they don't like me.
Yeah,
No, but yeah, it looks neat. It's not my cup of tea, but like,
mm,
glad for the fans that were waiting for it. It's
yeah.
I don't know. I would have much rather them like end with like well, not end with Sonic X Shadow. They should have ended with fucking Killer Bean. That would have been awesome.
It would have been, but they ain't gonna do that. No. I'm just
Yeah,
surprised they
I
didn't do
guess.
Monster Hunter as the concluding thing. But I don't know. I ain't the one running this show though. If it was me running it, I would have scraped this mess down into a 40-minute presentation. Yes, I do like the money and secure the bag and all of that mess though, but I'm like, oh goodness. Have you heard about I don't know if you heard about these numbers though, but like the live viewership viewings and stuff. I think I heard somewhere in the net range that over half of the audience was lost between the right before the Monster Hunter Rise trailer and stuff happened when people were on stage talking about that game and the Phantom Blade Zero stuff. Like before that, there was that long commercial with
Oh, the
all
fucking
the
Squad Busters one?
yeah, like all those popular actors and stuff. You had like Thor in the background and stuff,
It
and I was like,
sucked.
yeah, it went on for so long that I think half of the viewership numbers tanked.
Well,
I
the
was
thing
like, oh my goodness.
I've actually it's a Squad Busters is a mobile game which I've actually played and now I'm never going to fucking play it again because of this. I'm done. I will not play it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking that ad was horrible.
Yeah, so in terms of the overall consensus of how I felt on this show, I already gave my letter grade on it in one of my individual reviews for the show. I said I gave this sucker a D minus. I just really didn't like it, even though there was a lot of good stuff I liked within all the stuff we just said just a few moments ago. There's just a lot of stuff in there that was just not brand new or stuff. Now, you know, give Jeff credit, you can only work with what is actually given to you. Like you can't force a company to say, "Hey, say you turn around and say, "Hey, Xbox, you're gonna show up at one of my gosh dang shows and you're gonna show that Call of Duty or else, man, I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of legal fees." It don't work like that. So it's like he tries to go out there and get stuff, but he can only get so much stuff. It's just a matter of fact of how he kind of organizes everything now. So
Yeah.
I feel like he could do better. I wish the show wasn't a full 2 hours long though, but I don't know. I just really didn't like this show.
Yeah, I don't know. It was okay, but like yeah, like why even do like a Summer Games Fest showcase? Just let all the other people do their showcases they were already gonna do, I guess. I don't know.
I guess he's just trying to separate himself from E3 because E3 didn't have like a general overall show that could have had a mix of everything. Like I
For a
guess he's trying to
reason.
put a spin on it, but I mean, if you can get all the licensing and stuff and force everybody together in one little general area and just uniquely do it better, then I guess you could do
Yeah.
that. But mm,
I'll say I did like his little segment where he was going on about how like the top 10 new Steam games were mostly indies for a while.
a nice little nod. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I think it's cool that like he does acknowledge like the one thing I'll agree with him on is that he does acknowledge indies is like the future of gaming. But like at the same time, he's not showing any interesting ones.
Yeah.
He's not hooking me. He's just not hooking me at all. But besides that, they already confirmed Summer Games Fest will return in 2025. So I guess it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's here to stay because I think well,
But
this was technically the first official year that we had Summer Game Fest and E3 officially being shut down and not coming back ever.
yeah,
This was the first year.
it's it's sad because E3 was a lot of good memories, but it's gonna be basically the same thing. Nintendo will show what Nintendo would always show. Same for the other companies, but even then, they don't have much to show much nowadays, anyways, or at least
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Hmm.
I just love how Jeff Keighley tweeted out, "How would you grade Ubisoft Forward 2024? D or below? How would you grade Summer Games Fest main showcase? D or below?" Fucking. And then he said, "How would you rate the Xbox showcase?" Ever, and it was like an A,
A's and
which
B's
we're
mostly.
which we're
Yeah.
yeah we're gonna get to. No, it was 65% said A. Only like 12% of people said either C or D.
Wait, well, what about Summer Game Fest though?
Summer Games Fest. Fuck. I'm scrolling down. Sorry, I gotta go a little further down. I'm going past the Devolver Showcase, which I guess we'll just talk about that real quick. It was mostly a joke showcase, but it was pretty funny, and we got a new game by the creator of Dead Cells, which I'm excited for.
Hmm.
Um, I'm having trouble finding it. He might have deleted the fucking tweet.
Man, I know that man
Wait,
didn't
wait,
delete
wait.
that tweet. Hold
No,
up.
I found it. 250,000 votes. 40% of them said D or below.
Almost
26
half.
said the only 9% of people said A.
Wait, but hold on. How what was the percent of people that voted A or B or both? Or
Okay.
A and B?
for- A and B total was 33%, meaning
So
that literally two-thirds of people did not like this.
average or average or D and below. So yeah, that's why I was
Yeah,
wondering though. I was like, dang.
these fucking oh my god, man.
But Steven, you heard my ranking for the thing. I said D minus. What about you?
Yeah, fucking how because it had Killer B and I'll go C minus.
C minus? Oh dang.
Yeah,
He could have
like it
said
was
D plus, but all
I
right, whatever.
I voted D or below on that stupid ass poll
Well then you
just
should
because
say it's D on this
no, no,
podcast.
no, because like my opinions changed on it a little bit
Oh,
because
okay. It marinated a little bit. All right.
yeah, well, like Sonic X Shadow. Once I seen more of, I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool that they showed this.
Hmm.
I'll admit, like it had a couple things I was interested in, but I literally fucking fell asleep for like a minute or two during
Mm,
this.
goodness.
And it was not a good idea to have a 5-minute ad for a stupid fucking mobile game that
No,
no
that
one's even gonna play.
no, that was the worst right there. I never liked that mess though.
It's
Whew.
awful.
Yeah. All right, Stephen. Well, I'm looking at the time, and we got about a little less than 40 minutes left, and we still got to get through the Xbox showcase, and we still want to do these Nintendo Direct predictions. I didn't
I'm
lose it.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure Xbox Showcase, like, there's only a couple big things in my opinion. Like,
Okay,
my opinions on it aren't as colorful as other people's. Like, I don't think
okay.
it's as great as people said.
I was just making sure you aren't going to go on with talking. It's weird how we say that this showcase was like pretty bad and hot garbage, but yet we still had a lot of stuff to say. Maybe just
Well,
because
yeah,
of that and
I
some of the announcements. Mm,
I have to articulate how fucking bad it is. Sorry.
well, okay, I hear you on that one. All right, so we'll go ahead and switch on over into the next major thing, and we're done with Summer Game Fest. Now we got to talk about the Xbox Game Showcase, though. Now this one right here was a starkly different story than what we managed to get within the Summer Game Fest stuff because, oh, shoot, Xbox probably knocked this one out of the park. I don't know about you, Steven, though, but they were clicking on all cylinders. This is probably the best that we've seen an Xbox showcase since, gosh, some people, the diehard Xbox fans, probably saying since like the Xbox 360 era. I mean, it was
I
only going to
don't
be a
know.
matter of time for them to show up with anything that's first party from Activision Blizzard, the Bethesda studios, and then Xbox Game Studios. Like for those that really love the Xbox branding and really loves everything they do, you're covered. At least with
Yeah.
Game Pass and stuff, like you're covered. Even for me, I'm not necessarily the biggest Xbox fan. I don't own the Xbox consoles. I own a PC and I play my stuff via that way if something happens to interest me. Even out of this presentation, when I was watching it, I usually don't play a lot of those games that they happen to show, but they caught my eye on at least four games. Four games,
Yeah.
Steven. I'm like, wait a minute. I might actually wind up getting four games that were showed off in this thing.
I'm definitely getting one of them, but I'll at least admit that they had a little something for everyone. Like they had a decent amount of popular franchises with a couple new reveals and a couple updates, but they knew what people were looking they knew what people were coming for. And besides Call of Duty, which was already confirmed to be happening, like there were some surprises.
Mhm.
Like I'll start with Call of Duty. It looks fine. Zombies is apparently wave based again, which is cool. Call of Duty is Call of Duty, as Call of Duty usually is.
Yeah, because they started off the show strong with that one announcement, and they did say once this whole showcase was done, we're going to take you into like I think it was like what a 25-minute deep dive into the game and stuff behind the scenes, kind of giving
Yeah,
us a little bit more information on it. So if you're having to be one of those resident Call of Duty fans that having to buy every version of Call of Duty that comes out every holiday season, then hey, they got you covered. But yeah, that's probably the strongest you could probably start off the show knowing that this is going to sell gangbusters no matter what. So it's not a bad way to start off the show. What was it?
oh, definitely not.
And then after that, oh yes, you sold right here. This was heavily rumored though, but we managed to get it though. Doom: The Dark Ages though. It's coming out in
Yes.
2025, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" I was like, "How are they gonna make this look different from like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal?" Though, yes, we're gonna be going through and shooting a bunch of like demons and stuff, and aliens and stuff, whatever though. But whenever you're looking at it though, they did manage to get a medieval vibe from it though. Like you had the shield that has like a bunch of spikes from it, and you could chunk that thing and kill different enemies and stuff, and then have it come back
Yeah.
to you and defend with it, and still have the big old gun in your right arm. So it feels like Doom, but it still has that medieval kind of twist to it. I like it.
Yeah, it's a chainsaw. He like revs it up, the shield.
Yeah.
I love that. It's also got the like this giant mech armor we see at one point in the trailer. It looks just really it looks like they're having fun with this one. Also he has a cape, like he has this really cool like medieval and like mix of his armor,
It's like
a
a
cape.
furry kind of, not like no superhero
Yeah,
cape, but like a like if you kill some. Oh, what? I'm thinking of a PlayStation with a Marvel. Craven. If you're thinking about like Craven and what he wears off the back of his shoulders, it's something similar like that.
yeah, but it looks awesome from the little bit we've seen. I don't know necessarily if it's following up on Doom Eternal story wise or if it is just a prequel. Either way, it's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm buying this day one, I think. Unless they like mess up the gameplay, unless it's like no longer level based we'll see. Unless they mess up something real bad, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun and this is definitely my highlight from this showcase.
Yeah, no, it's one of my personal highlights too, because there's not a lot of shooting games out there that I will mess around with. Like, yes, I'll mess around with Splatoon. The only other one is Doom, surprisingly though, and then obviously I might mess with a Call of Duty though, but like that's just mostly zombies, and that's with friends only,
Yeah.
really though. But
It's
mostly that's it. Splatoon and Doom though, and Doom is checking off a lot of boxes for me. So same thing like you, Steven. As long as they don't mess this one up, I'll play it. I'm glad it's coming out in 2025, not this year, because that gives me time to actually go back through and finish up 2016 and finish up Eternal and stuff. So I'll be ready for this one when it comes out though. But yeah.
I'm more surprised that you're even interested in Doom, mostly just because of how violent it is, but maybe
No,
that's the
Hacks
whole
got me up in
reason.
that series. I don't know how he did, but he started me off on what was it, Doom 1, and then I played 2, then I played 3, and then I played 64, and then I played a little bit of 2016. I need to finish it though, but I was like, "Nah, I don't know why, but it just works." The series just
Oh
works for me.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's just it's more of a it tries to be a game instead of being a shoot simulator.
Yeah, and the fast is just kind of fast paced, and it's not like you got to be super accurate
Oh
like
yeah,
with Call of Duty and stuff. I don't know.
it's
It's a
also got
combination of that, and then you're fighting monsters. It's not like you're shooting actual people, which I kind of
yeah,
prefer that a little better.
it's got kick ass music too.
That too.
No, it's great. I'm excited.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was another good highlight right there. Say for most of the show, it was say it's like 80% was like first party. There were some few third parties, but not as many as what I thought would have been in the show. But like we did manage to get one, and that was the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta trailer. We managed to get another look at that. And I was like, huh. I was looking at it, I was like, I was thinking we were gonna get a release date. Now notice with a lot of these titles we're gonna go through, at least for the what else we're gonna say in this podcast, my main hindrance on this show is release dates. If they gave us the stinking release dates for a lot of these titles, I would have probably bumped it up a little bit more higher on my score though. But man, this is one of those ones I was looking for a release date for, and we just did not get it though. The footage looks great. This was like our first gameplay look at Metal Gear Solid 3 though. So I don't know. It's still looking promising. I probably still will get it. And they actually managed to set up pre-orders for like the limited editions and stuff already right now if you're interested in that. But yeah, it looks really good. What about you, Steven?
I have never played the original Metal Gear Solid 3. I've never played any Metal Gear Solid game. I think it looks cool though. I think from what I've seen images comparing the two, and it looks like this is a extremely faithful one-to-one remake. When I know people love this game. This is the prequel. Like this is a prequel. This is the first one chronologically. So there's a chance I pick this up at launch.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I yeah, and there's like so I seen there's like this cool detail where whatever damage your clothes take will be permanent and stay like that for the rest of the game. So like you
Oh,
have like if your clothing tears or you like lose your shirt or this and that, like stuff will be gone permanently.
oh,
And
that's
and
interesting.
like I think scars as well on the body from like
What? So you're
attacks.
gonna just be like a naked man at the end of the game or something
You
like
I
that?
I'm pretty sure that's an option, or maybe you could pick
Oh,
up more clothes.
that'd be
I
crazy.
like I said, I'm not familiar with the game. This is apparently a feature from the original. I think that's awesome,
Hmm.
and I'm definitely intrigued by it, especially
Okay.
because I have already kind of been interested in the Metal Gear series from
Hmm.
the little bit like that hacks has shown me,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. Like visually as well, it looks amazing.
All right.
I'm I'm hoping Konami doesn't fuck it up. They're good at that. Like
Mm.
Silent Hill 2
Well,
thing kind
they're
of
using
fucked
the
it
same
up.
voice clips from the original one, so that's already a good start there.
That's
So we'll
yeah,
see.
that's true. Mostly because like they didn't need to be. They didn't need to re-record it.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Metal Gear Solid stuff. And then back on the first party train now, we managed to get a new look at Perfect Dark. We already knew that, a Perfect Dark game was in the works. And for the longest time, we just didn't get to see like what this game could potentially look like. And we finally managed to get some actual gameplay footage of this thing though. And if you happen to know about Perfect Dark or GoldenEye back in the day in the N64 and stuff like that, looking at this footage, it's not necessarily like I would say one to one or kind of gives you those same vibes as like the original Perfect Dark on the 64, or maybe not even the one that's like similar on like one of the other Xbox versions or whatever though. Another title that came after that original one though. So, but the thing to kind of keep in mind is it's been so many years since, some of those other ones that us older people might have remembered back in the day though. So they can kind of take this Perfect Dark series in a whole new direction though. So I'm curious to see how it plays out though. Like I think I might get this one. I just need to see a little bit more, gameplay, a little more information up on it though. However, there's still no stinking release date for this. So I'm like, come on, man, we've been waiting for this thing for
It
years, and you ain't gonna give us a release date.
kind of worries me because it makes me think that they just wanted a good showcase. so they just threw as many in progress things on the wall as they could.
And that's the thing, we
So
had gameplay footage, and usually you wouldn't be showing that off unless you're somewhat
yeah,
mildly confident, like, there's a chance it could come out next year, but
we'll
they I guess
see.
they didn't wanna commit to it, but, we'll see.
No, but it looks okay. It looks. I think it just looks way too similar to a bunch of other shoot games we have.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. They could have been worse. I like how it's very colorful. I'll admit that trailer was
I
very
like that.
colorful,
It does have more color than most other shooty games
which
and stuff, so we'll
a,
see.
lo- yeah, a lot of games forget that they have to have color. So
Alright.
it looks okay.
Yeah.
That's my main thoughts.
Alright, and then after Perfect Dark, we managed to get another good look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Some odd reason we know it's coming out this year. The window frame's still the same, 2024. They just had not gave us a release date for it yet. So we're almost gonna run out of time at this point though. So I'm just gonna throw out there on the dartboard. It's probably gonna come out in the month of November. I feel like that's where they're gonna try to shoot and release this game out on though. I still wish this game was in third person though, but I'll make do with first person though. Because I mean, looking at the gameplay and stuff that they managed to showcase off within this one showcase, I felt like they went a little too far in the story department in this one. Like they ran that sucker
Yeah,
for a good long hot moment though. But the vibe I was getting from it felt straight out of a movie. Like all of the jokes and the way how it just kind of plays out some of their scenes is just very reminiscent from the movies itself. So even just kind of watching you just go through and play through the game whenever you do manage to get your hands on it, it's still going to be a good blast though. So I'm still looking forward to seeing this game one way or the other.
the way I see it, just make a movie at this point. Like instead of like pretending to have a game, they should just make movies.
Man, we just
Because like
got this. The
no,
actor man is old now. They can't pull this mess off no more.
no, they can. No, I'm talking about CG movies. Like
Oh,
it'd be
hmm.
yeah.
I feel
At
like
this
we're
point,
almost there, and that almost gonna be a whole nother topic for another day. I feel like we're halfway
no,
there, and I feel like whatever comes after the PS5, so like PS6 and Xbox Series, whatever, they might go a little more into that. I don't even know if you'll call that a genre or what, but they might go a
no,
little
but
more
like
into it.
I'm just saying, like it obviously would look a little uncanny, but like I'd rather them just like make a good movie, which they're very capable of, instead of just pretending to make a movie by having like weird, boring first person combat like in between.
Mhm.
I don't know. It looked fine. It doesn't really look like it's gonna be anything special though. Like it just looks like it's gonna be Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to this, and I'll report on it if I happen to pick it up, and we'll see. My PC should be able to handle it, so we'll see how that game goes, though. Next on my list, I only had three more other big things to talk about. One was Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I already gave my thoughts on it within the Ubisoft Forward presentation, but it did manage to showcase or manage to show itself at least within this one showcase. So I'll just quickly nod that though. And then after that, the digital only Series X was revealed as the second to last announcement within this showcase. So had a lot of good games and stuff. And then they managed to hit us with this, Steven, though. So it's kind of weird with the pricing structure with this thing now, because that all digital Series X now is like priced at 450. And I think the new or I wouldn't say new Series S, like the reprice Series S now. I think it's like 300. Is it 350 now? Oh dog, where did I have that post at?
Series S?
Yeah, the Series S, where did they reprice that at? Oh wait,
Oh
hold
no,
on.
it's 350 and it has a is it 2 terabytes of storage
No,
now?
it's 1 terabyte. I got it up
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's more storage on that. And then they have an Xbox. The last one was a Series X with more terabytes as well, right?
Yeah, two
And it was like
terabyte
an
one,
exclusive like
Galaxy Black
Galaxy.
Edition,
Yeah.
$600. $600. I was like,
That's
dang.
yeah, I don't know about that. Like that's a little much, if you ask me.
It
But
really
like,
is,
hey,
but I think the storages when you buy those upgrades for the SSDs for the Xbox consoles, I think those are actually fairly expensive. So some people that looked at that, it's like that's not necessarily too bad. But I don't know. When you're just looking at a $600 price tag, it's like, man, that's a lot.
yeah. And like Series S. what does it say? Series S for 350 with the 1 terabyte. Depending on what games you're getting, that's pretty good.
Hmm. No,
Because
yeah.
having to buy like fucking SSD storage expansions is annoying. Like Switch, it's just Switch. Just get a new micro SD card. Fine. Like just put it in and re-download everything. But like I
Or
don't
drag
know
the
with
files
like
on your computer or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, with PS5 and stuff, you literally have to like open it up. I'm pretty sure to get to the port, which is annoying.
Well, yeah, you just have to slide off the cover on it and unscrew like one bolt, and then that's it. It's not that
Yeah.
bad, but Xbox made it a lot easier. But I think because of that, the cost of theirs is way more expensive than like the PlayStation one. The PlayStation ones have actually dropped down in price with the SSDs, so it's not as bad as what it was at launch. But the Xboxes are still kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it in terms of that. So if you're looking for a new Xbox console, you got options now. You got options. And then last and certainly not least, what they ended the show off with. I'm not necessarily a big fan of it, but I have to mention it because it's what they ended the show off with. And guess I'm referring to none other. If I pull up my little thing right here again. Yes, I'm referring to Gears of War E Day. Now, it was kind of crazy because in the lead up to this, I heard a lot of people saying in the rumor mill that yeah, there's a good chance we might get another Gears of War game that managed to pop up in here. And lo and behold, that's what they end off the presentation with. So it looks cool. It looks nice. I could just tell it's just not a game for me though. But for fans that really love the series though, I know that they were kind of getting hyped for it though. But once again, no release date. So even if you want to get
Yeah.
really really hyped for it though, I mean what you've seen, even though it's like a little bit of like a CGI ish, not really gameplay for the most part though. It could have, for all six and purposes, felt like a JPEG though. But I mean, it is what it is.
Apparently, E-Day is like a significant thing in the games, or like it's a prequel. This is a prequel.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are excited about this. I know that much.
Yeah, so it's not a bad note to go out on. It's probably a fairly good closer that you can end off with something that not necessarily was actually confirmed up until this point. Now, I said Xbox show was really good because those are all the announcements I actually cared about, or I felt like a lot of other people would care about though. However, there's a whole slew of other games that managed to get updates or other games that got trailers and stuff for that I'll just quickly, briefly just list out. Like we got news and stuff for State of Decay 3, some new Starfield DLC stuff, some new updates for Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves managed to get a new update. I feel like that game gets an update almost every single presentation.
Yeah,
Diablo
no,
4,
it's long.
yeah. Diablo 4, Vessel of the Hatred, and then another look at Fable, which was actually the first gameplay look. We managed to get that up in there. Mecha Break, I think that was a third party game with some mechs and stuff. Kind of interesting, kind of cool though. And Avowed, which it was weird because have you heard about the news about Avowed, Steven? It was like originally it was no release date. They managed to, I think, maybe leak a release day announcement, and then they took it off, and it was like, "Wait, what the
I
heck?"
did
I
not
guess
see that. No,
I saw
I
that, and
did
I was
not.
like, I don't know why they did that, and it was listed for like November or something. Which I was like, wait, if they're putting that in November, do they still want to put Indiana Jones in November too, or do they want to roll that up to October? I'm like, I don't need anything else in October. I was like, oh please no.
Well,
Ugh.
I feel like Indiana Jones. I don't know. It could be a December game. Who knows?
It could be, it could be.
Yeah, I don't know. It could even just be like I was gonna say September, but maybe they would have revealed a release date then. Or maybe Indiana Jones being a fucking movie game will just get delayed.
I hope
Like
not. I want it to
like
be
oh we
this
need
year.
they could be like, oh, we need time to work on the graphics.
They could. I
Like
don't know.
I don't know. Like
Hmm.
probably. We'll see. Like we haven't had I'll admit that. I think that's kind of a problem. We haven't had that many big cases of games being delayed recently, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. Like
we
the
hadn't
last
heard
one was
any.
Tears of the
Yeah,
Kingdom. Yeah, like we haven't really had any public delays happening for a while, which
yeah.
is either meaning it either means that development is going smoothly or that games are being rushed out.
I think it's
but we'll
just more
see.
so games right now are just kinda ongoing because this year, while we still have a good amount of games that are coming out this year, if you looked at a lot of these presentations we got thus far, a lot of these titles are listed for 2025 or beyond. Like, I saw a lot of games that were listed for 2025. So this year is gonna feel like a little bit of a weird offbeat year, so maybe that's the reason why we just hadn't heard a bunch of games getting delayed or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
not gonna be as a hot year for 2024 versus 2025 might be a little bit of a wild year. It might rival 2017 or something. We'll see though. But
Well, yeah, we'll see.
I think outside of that, Steven, that was it for the Xbox Showcase event. Now, if I remember right in my video when I did its individual review thing, I think I ranked this one at like a B plus. If I remember right, I think that's where I ranked it at. But what letter grade would you give it? Oh wait, I guess I lost them somehow. As soon as I was about to tell him, I was like, "What letter grade would you give it to?" Then he bailed out. My goodness. Or it was either that or maybe he's tied up with it. Which if he happens to be tied up, then I'll go ahead and we'll hear back from him in a second though. But at least from everything I managed to mention though, that's about it. So Xbox, hats off to you. I'll tip it off like what you said, Inaba. Great show for the first time in a long time. A really great show. So I'll tip my hat off to you where it's actually due though. But yeah, so that's basically going to do it in terms of the Xbox showcase stuff. So now we'll go ahead and introduce the very last topic of the night, that being the Nintendo Direct predictions though, because if all goes according to plan, I have a strong feeling we only got 2 more weeks left in the month of June. Nintendo said they're going to come out with a Nintendo Direct some point this month. And considering all of that, there's only going to be 2 more weeks that we can have it in. So it's either going to happen this week or it's going to happen next week. So we're almost out of options at this point for it, though. And I've been saying for the longest time that I have a strong feeling that in terms of Nintendo and their directs, I had a good feeling that they were going to do it on this week. Even while people were thinking there might have been a chance they're going to do it last week, just remind you, E3 is no longer a thing. Nintendo likes to do things at their own time. They're obviously known as the king of the left field for strong reason. Because if they can, they'd rather isolate themselves away from Summer Game Fest so that way all eyes are on them. So at the earliest in my internal clock, I was thinking they were gonna either have it this week or very possibly could have had it, next week though. But I think for a lot of people out there, a lot of people are kind of basing the thought off of that leaked Among Us stuff that, yes, we're more than likely going to get, I would say, there's a chance we might get that Nintendo Direct on Tuesday of this week, which if it is on Tuesday, hey, I will welcome that because I might be able to actually do like a live reaction to it, which I hadn't done that on the channel in quite some time though. But man, I would hugely welcome that if that's actually a possibility though. Now, I did manage to make a whole entire prediction video at least on the channel though. But there's a couple of other ones that I wanted to at least go through and talk about. And then assuming if Steven's back right now, I don't know if he is. I wanted to make sure that he actually had the time to actually be able to give away some of his thoughts and his predictions for what we might be able to possibly see up in this direct, though. But one thing I didn't mention in the video, I think let me go ahead and set the tone at least just a little bit though, because in terms of I would say what we can expect in this Nintendo Direct. I have a strong feeling that you are only able gonna be or we're only gonna see mostly remakes, remasters, and ports. That's gonna be the name of the game, at least for this one presentation, though. Remakes, remasters, and ports. We might get a brand new game that might be outside of one of those major three columns, though. But mostly everything first party wise, not necessarily third party wise, is going to be contingent on those three things, though. So keeping all that in mind, one thing I think has a possibility of actually showing up, I think, would be none other than Kid Icarus Uprising. Yes, I feel like now is the time to do it. If you're gonna give us a new Kid Icarus Uprising game, now's the golden time. It's the golden opportunity. Look, I know Nintendo wants to ship something really easy, quick, and out the door as fast as humanly possible to keep, Switch interest drummed up because we know Nintendo wants your eyes to still stay glued to the Nintendo Switch versus the looming Nintendo Switch 2 that's out on the distant horizon that's going to come out some point in the year of 2025. We all know that. However, Nintendo wants to get something quick and easy out the door and something that ain't going to take them a lot of time. Don't expect another brand new major 3D Zelda game or 3D Mario game. Throw those out the back of the window. Earliest for those could be 2025. And I would say more so the Mario game versus a Zelda game, considering how we managed to get a new 3D Zelda last year. So yeah, so keeping all of that stuff in mind though, I think there's a good chance we might get a brand new Kid Icarus Uprising game. Now, anything else outside of that, ooh, it gets a little challenging. It's not necessarily easy, but it gets a little bit challenging though. But ooh, I'll go ahead and throw y'all I'll go ahead and throw y'all a bone. All right. I normally don't expect this, but I feel like at least for Mm, I feel like there might be a good chance. I'll go ahead and say this. I was debating on it just a little bit. But I'll go ahead and say this. Rhythm Heaven fans, if you're ever going to get a game, now's the time to do so. Do your little summoning circles, whatever you got to do, because this right here could be very well the moment that you've been all looking for, at least for Rhythm Heaven. Because I think the last major one we managed to get was back on the 3DS. So I know for a lot of y'all out there, you've been waiting for a good long hot minute though. But if you're gonna get a game, now will be the time to do so. I feel like outside of those two, because I did mention some on my own, at least via my one video I managed to do on my channel though. I think those are the main two I wanted to actually add to my list that I really would love to see though. Now, I think I'm still waiting on Steven. I don't know what happened to that dude, but I think something swallowed him up though. But in the meantime, though, one thing I didn't predict very well was third party games because those are always the hardest things to predict within Nintendo Directs because I would say first party games are way easier to predict versus the third party stuff though. But if I were to throw a leg out there was a major tease from what was it? There was a major tease from the Dragon Quest team on their social media with them showcasing off the Urgic or Urgic's I guess not dynasty legacy. I guess Urgic's legacy is soon gonna be a thing. Wait, Steven, are you back? Oh shoot. I thought I saw him for saw his thing flicker for a split second though. But no, at least with Erdrick in his timeline, I think they managed to make a post for it on one of their Twitter accounts. And I was like, you know what? We didn't get an update on this Dragon Quest HD 2D game in the Summer Game Fest presentation. It didn't show up there. It didn't show up in the Xbox showcase. It didn't show up there. So I was like, hold up. There's a good chance we might manage to finally get to see the fruits of this labor from this game in this one Nintendo Direct, though. So I feel like that's the one thing I could feel like I'm pretty confident in the game actually showing up, at least from a third party perspective though. So yeah, that's something I would really love to see showcase off right there, at least for a third party game. I'm trying to think. Third party is always so wide and so variable. It's like, man, what could you ever dream to get? There's a lot of games I would love to see on the Nintendo Switch though that are like on the PS4 or PS5. but I'm gonna hold those back because I feel like those are gonna be for sure strong Switch 2 recommendations right there, though. So I'll hold those off though. However, there were a few games they managed to showcase off in the previous Nintendo Direct. What was it? That was the partner showcase one that we managed to get around February though. I feel like there might be a good chance that they'll reiterate on again. One of them being is the fact that how we might be able to get another good look at Epic Mickey Rebrush. I think that was the name of the title though. But yeah, there's a good chance we might be able to see that game pop up once again. And if so, I'm like, yes, I will welcome that strongly though, because of the fact of how that might have been one of the other third party games I was actually interested in terms of, just hearing more information about it though. Because, man, I mean, yes, there is a lot of stuff that's already coming out this year though, but man, I wanted to really play myself some Epic Mickey stuff, like, playing a good platformer is like dime a dozen, at least in terms of you being able to go through and being able to play at least a really good one, though, and at least from what I heard back in the day, that just happened to be one of them, though. Whew. Alright, I thought Steven would have been back here now, though, but let me shoot this man a quick message, though, because I about stalled as long as I humanly possibly could, though. I don't know what got him in his house. Something ate that dude up in his house, though. I'm not sure what it is, though. Uh, ugh. Alright, I shot him something. I don't know what happened to the man, though, but he might have to dip for something important, though. But I won't leave y'all out high to dry. There might be one first party game that might be I'll go ahead and say it. It was one that I had in my main video though, but Mario Party. It's about we're long overdue for another Mario Party game. I feel like that one's gonna be there. They might actually start off the show with it though, because usually Mario Party games they pump those out every few years or so. So the last one we got was Superstars. So I feel like either we'll get another Superstars thing that's like over Mario Parties 4, 5, 6, 7 over the GameCube titles, or maybe it's another rendition of the Nintendo 64 ones, but they just choose different boards and different mini games and those. So who's to say on that? But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get another Mario Party game. I think it kind of goes without saying right there though. Um whew, I think outside of that Mario Party one, this one right here I'm about to talk about next is gonna be my pie in the sky list right here because we've been long overdue for a new Donkey Kong game. All right. It's literally been since 2014, I believe, since we managed to have the last mainline Donkey Kong game, albeit that one was a 2D one with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, though. And I love the heck out of that game. It's definitely one of the best Donkey Kong games out there, though. However, man, we're just long overdue for one. And no, I'm not talking about no crossover thing with like Mario versus Donkey Kong. No, 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 none of that mess though. I'm talking about a legit Donkey Kong game that's either a 2D or a 3D one. I would love to see a 3D one. However, I think it might be a little too soon for that because I feel like if you're going to make the ambition of bringing Donkey Kong back into the 3D fold, you would probably want to do that on your next new shiny system though. So at least for now, I'm thinking it might be something simple like a 2D game or something like that. And they could tease a 3D game and just not even give you a window frame of it though, not knowing that yes, it's gonna come out to Nintendo Switch and what could be Switch 2. Even though we know there's not gonna be any Switch 2 titles that are gonna be announced within the show, we do know the fact that how they could technically, in a weird way, reveal a Switch 2 game without actually saying it's a Switch 2 game, but it's because it's also a platform cross platform game. That's how you say it. Basically, where it'll be available on the Switch and Switch 2 though. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we might be able to get that because if y'all don't know, it's gonna be the Donkey Kong Country series 30th, I believe. 30th anniversaries, 30th to 35th. A lot of anniversaries are tend to be happening right about now though. But Yes, Donkey Kong Country series has been going on strong for a long time now. So I can see them either doing some kind of weird collaboration, not collaboration, um, basically like a Super Mario 3D All Stars, where it's like they jam together a bunch of different Donkey Kong games and stuff. Maybe they bring more Donkey Kong games over to the Nintendo Switch Online service, or just like a combination of any of that stuff right there. Though I feel like it's very well possible that they might be able to pull that off, at least with Donkey Kong game or with a Donkey Kong game. Because if they do, I would much welcome that opportunity. Though I would really love it though, because we're just long overdue for a new Donkey Kong game, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what Nintendo's on right now, though, but like, we're long past due on this thing, though. So come on, just go ahead and give it to me, Nintendo. Now, another one I would say is the Legend of Zelda games. Everybody and their mama's predicting Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. And I will say to this, you're only going to get one or the other. You're only going to get Wind Waker. You're only going to get Twilight Princess. You're not going to get both of them. They're not going to be priced both of them for like a $60 dual pack. No, not especially when you're considering the fact of how Nintendo themselves basically said they want to kind of release a new Zelda game every single year. Why would you give two Zelda games, two big ones that you can release both separately and charge $60 for both of them at the same time? It doesn't make any kind of sense though. So yeah, if I were Nintendo, I will give you Wind Waker, which is the older one between the two, and then hold off and give you your basically your Twilight Princess a little bit later though. At least that's how I will personally handle it though. Y'all might necessarily like it or you won't necessarily agree with me personally though, but that's how I feel, at least with the Legend of Zelda games. So if you're looking forward to something Legend of Zelda, now would be the time to do so. It's either do or die, at least with those Zelda games though, because if we go by this presentation, we don't get it, then I don't know. There's like rumors and stuff that Nintendo's sitting on these games. I don't know why they would be holding on to them for that long, unless they want to drop it really on the Switch too. But I don't know. It'd be a little bit odd if you had these games done and finished, and you're looking for something to fill out the rest of the second half of 2024. Considering the fact that how we only have what was it? We only have the Nintendo World Championships NES edition to really look forward to as it stands now, coming out in the month of July though. So yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff right there. And I feel like for the most part, I might be tapped out of predictions and stuff that I hadn't really already said in one of my in my most recent video though that I did on Friday. Yes, we're gonna probably get a new Fire Emblem game. Fingers crossed on that though. But mm, I'm trying to think of one last big hurrah that I can just throw out there in the universe and see if I can manage to lay it on this prediction. Outside of Donkey Kong, outside of something Fire Emblem stuff. Metroid Prime, you're not getting Metroid Prime 4. We'll be lucky if we get Metroid Prime 2 and 3 though. That's what I'm thinking, or at least what my head's thinking at this moment though. Hmm. Dog. You know what? They could do this too. They could do this too. I'll throw this out there. We'll get a new. Ooh, wait. There's a chance. Ooh, there's a chance. We can either get a new Star Fox game or we can get another F Zero game. It's either going to be one or the other. It won't be both, but it'll be one or the other. But if I were to flip a coin and say which one we're going to get, I say now's the time we get another F-Zero game. All right, I said it. I said it. That's the golden goose right there. We always tease and I always put on my thumbnails and stuff like a black silhouette of, you know, Captain Falcon on the thumbnail saying, we don't know what's gonna be revealed though, but it's gonna be a mystery though. Now's the time. We ain't gonna get in the brand new F-Zero game, but I think it's gonna be a remake or a not remake, remaster basically of F-Zero GX on the GameCube. We'll get a little bit of GameCube love in this presentation that's not necessarily GameCube coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service. Don't even expect that though. But yeah, I think there's a good chance we might be able to finally get that F-Zero game we've been all looking forward to. They've been testing the waters out a little bit here recently in terms of them just going through and putting F-Zero 99 on the Nintendo Switch Online service. So to get people acquainted within the F-Zero series, though. But now it's time to bust this cap open wide open and say, hey, look, y'all know about this. You're able to play it. Now it's time to put your money where your mouth is and let's actually give you an actual F-Zero game. Look, we got to get it before the next Mario Kart game that might come out in 2025. There's a good chance it could come out that year. But I was like, man, if you're gonna give us a new F-Zero game, it got to be on like on one of these weird off years before a brand new Mario Kart game comes, because that will essentially will kill an F-Zero game. Let's keep it real here though. But all right. I think I ran through some of the last little bit of stuff I wanted to add on to my predictions that are outside of my predictions video, though. So if you hadn't checked it on my channel already, though, I do have a separate individual video I dropped out early this weekend on that Friday of me going through and just making a whole bunch of predictions, mostly first party wise. And you heard a few third party stuff here in the podcast right now, though. But yeah, oh man, it's a little sad. I don't know what happened with Steven. I'll probably hear from him the next day though, but something caught him up. He's still technically here, or at least the body figure is here for him though. But I don't know, something happened with his spirit or something. It got whisked away or something. I don't know though. It's kind of reminds me of that old, what was it, that Super Smash Brothers Ultimate trailer where like Luigi got like pierced with like by the soul. What was it? The Grim Reaper, and like it ripped away Luigi's soul itself and separated from the body with that sight. I don't know. That's essentially what happened to Steven right here, though. He's just laying on that couch over there and doesn't even know what the heck has happened, though. But for all sakes and purposes, sad I don't get to hear his predictions, at least here on the podcast, though. But he should be back here next week, and we should be able to actually give all of our thoughts out on the Nintendo Direct. Assuming if it happens, actually, it has to happen one of these next 2 weeks. So, no, for sure. Yeah, because I'm looking at this schedule right now here, at least on the calendar. No, for sure, it will happen. So, yeah, so next podcast episode that should happen on the 30th of June, if all goes according to plan, you'll hear me and Steven fully go over all the announcements that were revealed in the Nintendo Direct and any other gaming news topics that happen to pop up, though. But yeah, outside of that, y'all, that's basically gonna do it for my ZardCast episode 81. So yeah, so if you happen to be here watching the show here live, or you're watching the podcast after the fact, though, thanks for oh goodness, I don't know why I'm getting stumbled here on my words though. But thanks for tuning in and listening here to the very end though. Sorry we had a couple of technical issues and stuff, whether it be Discord or a little bit on OBS side of things though. And then I don't know whatever happened to Steven right here. I lost him for the second half of the show right there, just how I forgot to unmute him on OBS for the Discord side of things though. But thanks for bearing in with me though. But if you happen to be looking at how many subscribers I actually have on the channel though, you might notice I might be a little bit north of 975-ish subs. So I'm knocking on the doorstep to 1,000 subs. The people that are probably listening to hear in the podcast up until this moment right now, I know y'all are the real ones right now, though. So I'm very close to the end game of hitting 1,000 subs. So there's a good chance I might hit it on my Zarcast episode 82. And if for some reason, if that happens, then yeah, I'll do some update videos and stuff like that, and I'll probably have a celebration stream or something for all of the love and support y'all provided for me for hitting up to 1,000 subs. So the end game is near. However, it will also still be the beginning of something new once I hit that major milestone, though. So I just want to go ahead and just bring it to everybody's attention, though. So if you happen to know anybody else out there in the gaming community and stuff that really likes gaming, loves hearing people talk about stuff like that, go ahead and recommend them. Me and Steven were just a couple dudes, at least here on this podcast, talking about video game stuff and everything we like to, talk about and discuss that happens within the pop culture stuff, as well as gaming news, what we happen to be playing, and everything else in between, though. But yeah, that's basically going to do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 81. So if you really like this podcast episode, make sure you're going to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. If you happen to be watching one of my audio only versions, whether it be on my YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Yes, you can listen to me in the car via iHeartRadio. And make sure you're going to hit the like button on any of those respective channels and go ahead and give a review. Just let people know we're just a couple dudes usually going through and talking about video game stuff. Sorry that Steven had to drop out early from the show, though, but he should be back in full force for the next episode that should happen in a couple weeks from now. next Sunday though. But yeah, that's basically gonna do it in terms of my Zarcast episode 81, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, until my next Zarcast episode, that being episode 82, I'll see y'all later.